You are now listening to Sir Ink's The Experience Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything kink. Now, this podcast is only catered to those that are 18 and above and may not be suitable for work, or as we like to say, NSF. But remember, you can always listen to us during your private time. Hello, kinky and kinkiers folk out there. My name is Sir Ink.
What's good, everybody? Let's jump right into my topic. And my topic today is how one session can change your mind. How one session can change your mind or change who you are. And I would liken this to, and I know a lot of people have this aha moment. A lot of guys have an aha moment when you're with someone who's maybe more filthier than you when it comes to sex. When someone's a little further along, someone who likes pain, and you're trying to understand that, and you're trying to meet them where they are. You're trying to give it to them, but that's not your thing just yet. But after you do it, you're like, wow, they really like that. And that really changes your mindset, because now you have been touched by it. You see not only the value, but the connection that you have. When you're getting into it and it becomes so very passionate, looking at the reaction of your subject, you know? And so I would say my consent, non-consent, uh, my consent, non-consent sessions that I had with Nikki years ago is kind of what changed me. It kind of made me feel like it's okay to be more aggressive when having sex with women. Like, women actually like to be overpowered. Not every woman, but a lot of women crave to be taken, desired, cared for. They like that you broke them down and built them back up at the end. Real quick, don't forget to build them back up at the end. You got to build them back up at the end. But the reality was, wow, they really like the aggressiveness. They really like feeling powerless to you, but then protected by you. And that is just expressed, within kink, with the restraints, with the blindfolds and the ball gags and all those things is a person giving themselves to you. And a lot of men, I won't say most, but a lot of men do not know how to handle that kind of responsibility, nor do they really want that responsibility because it's a lot. It's a lot of responsibility when you think about it. When you go from that vanilla world where it's like, 50-50, we're having sex and we're just going through the motions, which is fine. When you come over here, and then in sex is not just missionary doggy style, it's a whole lot more foreplay. It's toys coming out. We're going to have some fun, tying you up, giving you the flogger, using hot candle wax, using fire, water play, whatever the case may be. Like, we're really ramping this thing up, and unbeknownst to you, now you're taking your sexual prowess and your sexual palette, you've expanded it. And so just having regular sex won't do anymore. And that is what a proper session can do for not only the person you're giving the session to, but actually the person who's giving the session. So it's good for both dom and sub, good for both sadists and masochists, because it can only inflame your sadism It can only inflame your submission to give yourself up, to have all those things done to you and come out to the other side safe. To be a dominant, or to be a sadist, to be in that moment, to express some of your darkest desires, say some of the craziest things you've always wanted to say to a person in a session, and at the end, it's like a chalkboard. You wipe it all clean. But that's what aftercare is supposed to do. All the things that you've written on that person's, you've imprinted on that person's body and their psyche, you somewhat wipe it off like writing on a chalkboard. You kind of wipe it off. Even though you wipe the words off, the dust is still on there, until you put water on it, right? You really clean it. But when you initially wipe it off, the words are gone, but it's still dust there. And you want that. You want that chalk dust there. You want them to remember it. But you don't want it to still be fresh on them, because that means that you have not properly brought them out of that place. You can't leave a person hanging in that place. You have to give them something that brings them back to where they were before you took them there. And because you may not understand what that feels like, doesn't mean that that's not actually what's happening. I've learned that the hard way. And so you have to be prepared to give aftercare, or multiple things can happen. Mostly can be bad, emotional traumas, could be some things that aren't, never know what triggers people, or if you don't bring someone down from a physical experience, what they take that as. Your good intentions of having a great session and making it freaky and having some impact play. You're too caught up in the bliss of it and not providing aftercare. The person that you did it for won't see it as blissful. They can see it as you abused them in a way. And these are the things that you need to keep in account. But we need to get back to understanding the importance of sessions and what they do to the giver and the receiver. I don't think there's enough talked about that, how those things change you. Like who you were at 20 and who you are at 40 or 30 or 60, wherever you are, should not be the same. Like the things you do in bed, in my opinion, shouldn't be the same, though I know most people are probably having the same sex at 50 that they were having in their 20s. They may be having it with more people to make it interesting to them, but they're not doing anything different with those more people. And so we have to think about, in my opinion, what do we want to accomplish when we go into these sessions, because they can change you. I had no idea that consent, non-consent would stain me in a way that it would allow me to see aggression sexually in a positive way if it's done right and done with the right intention. But what do you think? I've been talking long enough. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Will a session change? Has the first session you had, or the second, or just in general, no matter how many sessions you had, what session changed you? What session pushed you to be different? That's what I would like to know. What session changed you to be different? Mine was the consent, non-consent, because I told you guys that I just never saw myself even doing anything like that, like willingly. And I did that for my first sub, and it came out great. But even I was a little different after that, and she had to give me aftercare, which is different, right? Because today, if I did that, I would give out the aftercare. I'm good, but I have experience now. But back then, I had no experience. I didn't know what to expect. We're talking 16 years ago. I had no idea. It was like really mind opening. But what do you guys think? Please let me know. Please let me know. I would love to hear it. You know the drill. Please like, subscribe, comment below. And until next time, peace.
You know how to find me, Sir INQ, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can always email me at sirinq09@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Until next time, peace.